Mesoamerica and Latin America, South America, the support for Julian is tremendous. It hasn't flagged in 13 years. Its strength now has grown to the point where a government, a whole government, can say they want Julian Assange freed and offer asylum in the case of Mexico, in the case of Colombia, in the case of President Lula of Brazil, in the case of Cristina Kirchner in Argentina, and in the case of the President of Chile. This is really important. The Council of Europe has made declarations that Julian must be freed and is a protected journalist. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention in February 2018 declared that Julian was arbitrarily detained, should be freed and paid compensation. The United Nations Rapporteur on Torture, Professor Nils Melzer, issued a report in 2019 stating that Julian Assange was a victim of psychological torture. The Human Rights Commissioner for the Council of Europe has made a declaration that Julian must be freed. The Canton of Geneva have offered Julian a humanitarian visa, and the Swiss Federation have agreed with that. Who else is there? Bachelet, yes, the Human Rights Commissioner for the United Nations has made a statement just recently that Julian must be freed. The Council of Europe have made a month ago another statement that Julian must be freed. So the movement, as you can see, is worldwide, it's historical, it's growing, and it's grown so much that a man of courage and determination, President López Obrador, can stand as a head of government and say that Julian Assange is welcome here and we would give him a place to live, asylum. He would be protected here. He would be cherished here. Julian has asked the High Court for permission to appeal against the decision made by Judge Barita last year. What that involves is Julian makes a submission. After Julian's submission goes in, the United States has 8 weeks to make their submission. Okay, but the United States has asked for a 4-week extension.
So 12 weeks.
So 12 weeks. So 2 weeks have gone by, so another 10 weeks. After that, the judge will take some time, maybe 2 months or something after Christmas. The judge will make a decision on whether an appeal can go ahead. 2, he can refuse the appeal, and then Julian is forced to appeal to the European Court of Human Rights or possibly the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. Or Julian is immediately extradited to the United States. The Department of Justice, National Security Section, the Department of State and the FBI seen fit to pursue Julian in a prosecution that has no legal basis whatsoever because it's extraterritorial, in order to oppress journalism. Equally, the United Kingdom uses this as an example or as a precedent to oppress journalism in the United Kingdom. So it serves the purposes of the authoritarian nature of the United Kingdom and the authoritarian nature of parts of the United States. legacy media has realised that the circumstances that apply to Julian Assange, extraterritorial application of United States laws and application of the Espionage Act of 1917 to journalists, realised that that will apply to them. And so now they defend Julian, rather half-heartedly, but now they defend him. So they realise that the same horror that Julian's faced for 13 years, they will face if they criticise government. It's frightening. Frightens, intimidates and oppresses comment. And so it's up to the social media, to civil society bodies like NGOs and ordinary people, alternative media, social media and civil society bodies like this one, to pursue justice for Julian and consequently strengthen their resistance against the authoritarian impulses of rogue governments.